Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about the planet Earth, our planet. And over the past few days, we've talked about Mercury and Venus. We've learned that both planets do not have planets, but guess what? We already know that our planet Earth does have a moon. So today we're going to talk about the moon as well. So I'm going to read these two books to you, and then you're going to go to Seesaw and you're going to fill out the fact sheet providing 3 facts for each planet, for the Earth and the moon. There will also be books about the Earth and the moon for you to read if you go to Epic. I will have books in there for you to read as well. Okay, so let's listen. The Earth, and you already know a lot of facts about the Earth already, so this should be an easy one. By Christine Taylor Butler. Earth. You can eat a crust of, let me try that again, boys and girls. Earth. You can eat the crust of a piece of bread, but can you eat the crust of Earth? No. Earth's crust is made of dirt and rock. Most of the Earth's crust is covered with water. That's why it's all blue. And in here, the white, that's where the planet, the white and the green, clouds and Earth and continents. Earth is the only planet in the solar system with human life. All life on Earth lives on the crust. The crust is one of the Earth's layers. It is the outside layer. The mantle is under the crust. The core is at the center of the Earth. Let's think of the Earth as the layers of the Earth as an egg, okay? The shell of the egg would be the Earth's crust. The mantle, which is right under the crust, would be like the white part of a hard-boiled egg, or the clear, gooey stuff of a raw egg. And the core would be the yellow yolk. Large parts of the crust rise above the water. These parts are called continents. And here's our continent. This is North America. Continents are big bodies of land or big pieces of land. There are many others. You have Asia, Europe, Antarctica, Australia, Africa, South America. I think I've named them all. There are 7 in all. Smaller parts rise above the water too. These little pieces. These are called islands. Little pieces of land that have come up and come out of the water. People can live on both continents and islands. The Earth's crust is broken into many pieces called plates. These are not like dinner plates. And they're made of rock, and they have different shapes. Probably can't see it in my book here, but there are different shapes. You have the Eurasian plate, you have the Indian Australian plate, the Pacific plate, the North American plate, the South American plate, the Eurasian plate, the African plate. And the interesting thing about these plates is sometimes they move. And we'll learn about that in just a minute. Earth's mantle is under the crust. Remember, that's the white part of the egg. It is made of melted rock called magma. The Earth's plates will sit on top of the magma. So it's floating right on top. And the magma sometimes comes up out of the ground. And when it does, it is called lava. Now, what would make that lava come up out of the ground? Well, let's find out. Sometimes these plates that are sitting on the lava will move. And this will create an earthquake. And they'll bump together. Sometimes they bump together so hard that it pushes them up, and they create big mountains. Sometimes the magma rises and it creates a volcano. The difference between a mountain and a volcano is that with a volcano, that magma that's underneath the ground pushes up through, creating a hole in the mountain. So it comes up and it shoots out. We eat things that live on the Earth's crust. We eat things that grow in the Earth's crust. But we don't eat Earth's crust. That would taste like dirt and rock. Corn is one food that grows on the Earth's crust. Can you think of some other foods that would grow on the Earth's crust? Or in the Earth's crust? Potatoes would be a food that would grow in the Earth's crust. Here is our solar system. Do you remember how many days there are in one Earth year? You're right, 365. Do you remember how many hours in one Earth day? Perfect, 24. And Earth has one moon. Guess what? Mercury and Venus, we already found out, have no moons. Big fat zero. But there are other planets that have a lot of moons. There's one I remember that has at least 64 moons. And they're finding more moons every day. Guess what? The Earth, this is a fact I bet you didn't know. You guys, most of you are 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old. Guess how old the Earth is? 4 billion years old, more than 4 billion years old. And it's the only planet in our solar system that has liquid water, like the water that we drink. Okay. So that's the planet Earth. Now remember, don't forget to go to Seesaw, find the template, and write down 3 more facts about the Earth. Also, don't forget, you can find more facts about the Earth by looking for Earth books in your lists on Epic. Before I end this video, let's take a quick look at the moon, because Earth has a moon, and this is Earth's moon. Melanie Krismer is who wrote this one. So you and I don't go to the moon, but astronauts do. An astronaut is a person that studies space. We have satellites out in space that are taking pictures of the different planets. We need to use a spacecraft, or the astronauts use a spacecraft to get there. This is a footprint that was made by one of those astronauts that have been to the moon. And this is their space suit. The moon. Can you jump on the moon? Yes, if you can get there. The moon is far away. It would take 3 days to get to the moon from Earth. 3 whole days. The moon is about 238,855 miles away from Earth. Wow. The moon is an object that circles Earth. The path it takes is called an orbit. So you have the Earth that's orbiting around or rotating around the sun, and the moon is orbiting around the Earth. The moon is not a planet. It is a satellite. Earth and the other planets in the solar system go around the sun. Everyone can see the moon from Earth, but only 12 people, and this book is a little old, so it might be a little bit more than that now, have walked or jumped on the moon. That's not a lot. You can only go to the moon by flying in a spacecraft. In 1969, NASA sent 3 astronauts to the moon. They went in a spacecraft called the Apollo 11. Mike Collins flew the craft. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin got to walk on the moon. And that's these fellows right here. Neil Armstrong was the first human to step on the moon. He made the first footprint. So this is Neil Armstrong's footprint on the moon. His footprint will be there for more than 1,000,000 years. You know why it will stay there? Good guess. There's no wind on the moon. So there's no wind to blow it away. So it will stay there, perfectly preserved. The moon has no air. And because it has no air for breathing, that's why the astronauts have to wear these space suits with a backpack. The backpack is what has this air in it, is carrying this air for him. The moon is very cold in the shade and very hot in the sunlight. The spacesuit keeps you just right when you're on the moon, not too hot and not too cold, and able to breathe. You don't need a spacesuit to jump on Earth. You can have fun jumping on the moon if you go to space. If you go to space camp, excuse me. Now this kid is at space camp, so he's not actually jumping on the moon, but he is pretending he's jumping on the moon. The moon has phases. That's why at nighttime, we see the moon looks different shapes to us. When the moon travels around the Earth, the part that we see changes. We call these changes the phases. We have the waning moon to the waxing moon. So next month, I want you to take a look at the moon every night and see if you are seeing less and less of the moon. If you are, it is called a waning moon. If you are seeing more and more, it is called a waxing moon. So it'll go from littler to biggest to littler again. Okay. And these are your definitions. Okay, very good. So remember, boys and girls, look at Epic for some books about the Earth and the moon. And then I want you to go to Seesaw, and I would like you to fill out the template for the facts on the Earth and the moon.